so you'll see the recording button come on. I do want to say a great thank you. There is so much gratitude I have for the Google partners that I get to work with, because they are the ones who are the boots on the ground. Really, they're vested in your success, and they are the ones who will be available to you after the session should you have any questions. There is only one of me, and as much as I try to be available to everybody and answer your emails, sometimes it takes me 5 to 8 days before I can respond to an email. And that's just not good for you when you're ready to take action on what you've learned. That's why these wonderful partners made sure they knew what you needed. They invited me in. They made sure that you knew that this was available to you, and they are there vested in your success. So please remember who invited you or who is closest to you here. And partners, if you want to say your contact information in the chat box, feel free to do that so people feel comfortable and know where to reach out to you afterwards. All right. So that's these wonderful partners here. We've got some that I've been working with for a long time, like Oklahoma SBDC, SCORE Austin, Houston LGBT Chamber, University of Houston, Victoria, also my old stomping grounds because I lived in Victoria, Texas for a while there, working for HEB, if you guys know the company, America's SBDC, UT Rio Grande Valley, Texas State SBDC, Baker Ripley. We've been here together for a long time. SCORE San Antonio, Transition Skills Training. Thank you, Julie and Kaylin, for being here. El Paso Community College SBDC, Del Mar SBDC. I actually got to do a lot of events in person for them before everything happened in 2020, and I hope to be back soon whenever I am in the area. I am loving to do that. Midland Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, I'd love to do that here because I'm right here in town and happy to do that for you. REI Women's Business Center, Marla, we've been here since the beginning of it all. Colorado West Central SBDC, College Lake County, Illinois SBDC, Kent State, Ohio SBDC. We got Rio Grande SBDC, Sul Ross SBDC, and Northwest Texas Rural Business Opportunity Program out of Lubbock. All right. Remember that, take a screenshot, and you'll also get a copy of today's slides. Remember where to get the slides. I'm going to drop that one more time in the chat box just because there are some people who came just a couple of minutes ago, and I want to make sure you get a copy of the slides and the handout. You will only get that while the session is in session. Once it ends, they're not going to be available at that link anymore, but they will be emailed to you with the replay that you'll have access to for 10 days. All right. This is who I am. Yes, I'm real. This is not a recording. And I do come to you from the Google team. So I've been on the Google team for 7 years. And this is what I do, is actually training and working with small businesses. And I've had the great opportunity to also work with the military, families and spouses, as well as those who are transitioning from active duty to civilian life, who are starting a business. So I love that, especially since I come from a strong military background. And I'm here with you today because I also have a small business background. So I got my start in the Midland Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Business Incubator. That's where I began my business. And I've earned the Texas Governor's Excellence in Small Business Award. And that is when Google found and searched me out, because I do know what it's like to be butcher, baker, candlestick maker in your business, as well as chief marketer, now web designer, web developer, even chief analyst, because you're doing it all to grow your business. So today we're going to be talking about how you can make your website work for you. Thank you, Joni. Thank you. And if you need anything small business, please use the link in blue. If you want to connect with me, just giving a shout out even to what you applied that you learned today, feel free to tag me on Twitter or X, which is the first handle that you see there. And the second one that you see at Marketing Coach Maria is me on Instagram. I would love to retweet, repost, share you in my stories, give you all the love and visibility that you can if you'll connect with me. Okay. All right. We know people are going online, right? And we know that if they have a bad website experience, they don't come back again. Not at all. In fact, people will go here first when they want to know, go do or buy. This is a mobile. 84% come here first. When I'm working with businesses who are looking to build out their actual online presence, if they have limited resources, meaning time and money, I explain to them that they need to build for mobile first, which is first, and then go for desktop if they have additional time, energy, and money, because desktop is where the least amount of us go. We go to mobile first. That's why it's really important when you have limited resources. And understand that even the Amazon team did that when they build out. That's exactly what they do. So I appreciate everybody coming here. Now, I know you may not have your website actually set up at all. Not to worry, this will make sure that you don't get into any bad practices, or if you're securing somebody like a web designer and web developer, and no, they are not one and the same. The designer does the beautiful design. The developer does all the coding and everything as far as the logistics on the back end. Occasionally, and very rarely, do you find somebody who's good at doing both. Usually it's two different people, maybe in an agency or a consultancy, but never, well, not never. I find some rare people, but it's very rare. I've been 15 years in international e-commerce, and I have only found two people in that whole time that are really excellent at design and development. Even though they may say they do both, they really lean heavy into one. So when we talk about web design, everything that I'm going to be talking about today will help you make decisions and make sure that you're found fast on Google. So what is web design? A lot of times, everything here on the left that we're seeing, right? So if we cut this actual screen in half, you'll see graphics, colors, and fonts. That's what we think web design is. Whenever I talk about web design, that's immediately where everyone's mind goes. But if you look to the right, it's really about functionality, layout, and content. That is what Google cares about, and that's what the person that is looking at your site cares about. Because if it's a hot mess and they can't find anything, they will leave you as quick as possible and they will never come back. You never have that opportunity for a first impression, all right? So let's try out. Actually, you can do a lot of web design with AI, but you need to be able to teach AI exactly the functionality, layout, and content. And actually, people, that's on us. We are experts on our customers. We need to know and be those experts if we're not. Know how they consume information, know what they need to see to be able to make that decision journey, understand the best path to purchase for them. That is all on us. And that is what we need to teach AI. It's a mistake to think that AI knows our customers better than we do. And it's actually our superpower, because we actually can reach our customers right very close, face to face, as small businesses. Where larger companies have to come up with a committee, a survey, and figure out who they're going to talk to. We can just reach out and talk to our customers. So when you look at a website, we're going to be talking about today how it needs to be goal oriented and really search friendly, because if the search engine can't find you, then it's not going to be able to put you into search results. And what that means is that you will not be found. If people don't know you exist, they can't do business with you. It has to be convenient. Again, if it's tough to figure out your website, and I will tell you, anytime I survey groups of people and ask them what's the number one reason they leave a website, they say, it is disorganized and I can't find anything. In fact, 88% of people will leave a website immediately if they don't find what they're looking for. And a lot of us treat our front page, our home page, as if it was a junk drawer, because we want to put everything there. We're so super excited that somebody found our site. We just throw it all there and we hope that people are going to find it. And while I love hope, it's wonderful to have. It is truly a poor strategy. All right, so let's talk about how important it is to be convenient, organized, and trustworthy, right? So absolutely. No, I love that you've got apps that do this. I'm a big user of AI. I used AI even before it was available to the public. So I'm a big fan of it, but I also know its limitations. And I know it regurgitates a lot of things, but it doesn't know our customers like we know our customers. And that truly is on us. That is what we get to deliver. So I'm a big fan of AI because it saves tremendous time, energy, and money. But we need to be able to teach our AI very, very well. Yes, it absolutely does, Mr. Wood. I agree. I agree, Yvonne. Thank you so much for sharing that too. So let's talk about the goal orientation, because whether we use AI or a person or we DIY, do it ourselves, we still need to know what's the goal of our website. So it could be to build our brand, generate those leads, right? It could be any of these 6 reasons right here. I'd love to know right now, what is your reason for your website existing? Because if you try to be all things to all people, that is where you get into the disorganized hot mess that people realize they get to at your site and they won't come back because the messaging does not resonate with them. So let me know exactly what that is. All right. Patty, as far as getting a live person on Google, you have to go through your Google account. You have to use the help, and so the question mark, help and support. Once you do that, they will start generating a phone number for you of somebody to contact, or an email. You'll start that way. Google never calls you directly. That needs to be instigated by you. Okay, so I see people here. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to the instructions and saying make sales, generate leads, build brand. All right, perfect. All right. Oh, perfect. Thank you for letting me know that. I know there's a slight lag there, and that's just internet. I apologize for that. Sorry for that lag there. Unfortunately, I don't control the internet. If I did, I would be making some buck then. All right, everybody, can you see? All right, can you see? There we go. Everybody, I do see you're building your brands, making sales. Perfect. It's really, really important to do that, okay? All right, info and application for perspective. Perfect. Sales and leads. Really know what that is. Remember what I said? A lot of people will put up a website hoping to get more customers. And remember what I said about hope, okay? All right. So, who is your audience? You truly need to know this. See, I've said this now how many times, everyone, right? How many times? Two or three times at least. How important it is for you to know your audience because there is a lot. I mean, there are millions upon millions of websites out there. And if you don't know your audience, you are going to get lost in the shuffle as somebody who is just speaking in generalities. And you know what happens when we do that? We become a commodity. And that's the way the search engine sees us too. You're no different from anybody else, so why should it show you up at the very top of search? Why should it showcase you in different panels? Or even when people are utilizing AI, why should it pull information from your site and showcase and source your site? What is it that makes you so uniquely different? So understanding that audience is really important. Now, even when I'm at conferences, I have people who come up to me at the stage and say, but Maria, I can really serve anybody, everybody, and somebody. And while that's wonderful to say, understand that makes messaging and everything that you do very confusing. So if you write your message and actually focus and target on anybody, everybody, and somebody, you'll get their second cousin, nobody. It is too big, too broad. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't serve anybody, everybody, and somebody. Absolutely. Come on, I'll take you. But you don't want your best customer to miss your messaging and not realize, oh my gosh, this is the person that can help me, that has the product, service, or solution that can really get me to where I need to go. And we need to make sure that we know our customer in order to message to them. It breaks my heart anytime I hear somebody say, I can serve anybody that can fog a mirror. That's great that you can do that. And we all can do that. But if you miss that best customer, really all that is code to me that you don't know who your target audience is. And that is where you see a lot of businesses fail because they try to target the entire world with limited resources. You have to have Coca-Cola type money to reach out and touch everybody. And we don't have that, right? So we need to get better at that. And therefore we can serve anybody, everybody, and somebody. But our best customer doesn't miss the fact that we're talking about them and we need to be able to reach them. So we need to be able to see the world like they do and understand their decision-making process. This is really important for you to do. I was working with a business, they started out in their garage. $300,000 is basically what he did in his garage with his invention, and then really focused in exactly his messaging. He realized his best customers were women ages 35 to 44 or 54 years old. Now understand, a 35-year-old is going to actually act and behavior is going to be different than somebody who might be 18 or 17. So he really targeted his audience. And he realized these professional women that he was targeting, because he was looking at professional women, college educated, at least two children, and some sort of administrative or leadership position, that the time they were shopping on their phone was 2:20 in the morning. So he scheduled all of his posts, his ads, anything that he was doing didn't go out till 2 o'clock in the morning. Now he has a dog product, so he could serve anybody, everybody, and somebody that has a dog. But he didn't want to miss his best customer, which was women ages 35 to 54 years old. So he didn't want to miss them. They shopped at 2:20. Everything went out 2 o'clock in the morning. Could he serve everybody? Absolutely. But did he want to miss that best customer? Absolutely not. By the way, he went from 300,000 to 8 million in sales from his garage. And then he was able to expand out to other warehouses. So you have to have a goal for your website: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So as you look at the three goals below, Do they fulfill that? Yes, of course. You can increase the unique website visits by 20% over the next 2 months. Is it specific? Yes, I'm talking just about website visits. Is it measurable? Well, if I look at my free Google Analytics that's connected to my site, letting me know how people are actually consuming information on my site, then I can know whether or not, if I do it in the next 2 months, I get 20% over what I did previously. So I can measure that. Yes. Is it attainable? Probably, depending on the actions that I do. I need to look at my history, but probably. Is it relevant? Well, if people come to your website means you get more visibility and people can find you, then yes, it's relevant because they can't do business with you if they don't know you exist. Is it time bound? Yes, in the next 2 months. So this is a SMART goal. Understand it's important for you to SMART test every single one of your goals. All of them have to meet the 5 points: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. If you miss any of these, then you could be off your trajectory and not make your goal. This is important because I hear a lot of people will tell me, Maria, I want to make more money. And I'll tell them, well, great. What does more money look like for you? 1 penny in the next 99 years is more money. Is that what you're looking for? You're not specific enough. Or I'll have people say, Maria, I want more followers I want them to love me on Instagram. I just want people to like and just make sure that visibility is going out there because that's where I'm pushing my web presence is on Instagram. And I'll say, great. How does a follower or somebody who likes you on Instagram translate to your business? Now, when somebody can tell me, well, Maria, I know that when I have 100 likes on Instagram, then that's about 20%. So 20 people come to my website. Of the 20 people that come to my website, 18 will download the PDF that I have for them that gives them advice on how to select somebody in my field or how to make decisions on doing business with somebody in my field. So about 18 of them will download that, and I get 18 of them their email addresses. Well, now we know that socials is not perfect. In fact, we've seen a lot of Armageddon happening with Meta Armageddon and not being able to get into your Instagram or Facebook, or things unpublished and taken down for no reason at all. And now you have to wait days upon weeks where you're not visible because socials is now having to find out exactly why you weren't in violation or what actually happened. So you have to go through that process. And in the meantime, how are you going to reach everybody? Because if all socials went down right now, something happened just, wonky. Could be that a bot decided that your site wasn't doing what it needed to or was spammy. What are you going to do to stay connected with all those people? So the fact that they were able to put that together and say, if that happens, I get 18 emails, then I said, okay, great. You've SMART tested that goal. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Is the second one SMART tested? Take a look at that. Promote seasonal products online and generate 10% more in-store purchases over the next quarter. Is it specific? Yeah. Is it measurable? Yes, it is, because I can generate how much purchases. I know how many purchases I made. Now I get a 10% increase. Is it attainable? If I'm doing some things to increase that it should. If it looks like in the history, I can look at my sales history that I've been growing my in-store purchases. That's good. Is it relevant? Yes. In-store purchases, making more money is very relevant to businesses. All businesses want to make more money. And then is it time bound? Next quarter? Yes, it is. So the third one, it passes the test. Does it? Let me know in the chat box. And now, after you look at that third one, more importantly, look at yours. Perfect, everybody. Yes, yes, JJ, it does. Yes, Joni, Marcy, it does. All of these three are SMART tested. Now that you've tested that out and kind of played in the sandbox here, I want you to look at your goals. Do they pass the SMART test? Because if they don't, understand that is where a lot of small businesses fail, because they get part of it right. And it's not about part of it. You've got to get all 5 there, or else you don't get that opportunity to grow as quickly as you want to and reach the customers that you need. All right. So how will you measure that success? We talked about making it measurable, right? So is it collecting form submissions? So part of it could be, I want more people, 10% increase in people filling out our contact form, or maybe calling us, or maybe more of them are sharing and mentioning us, and they're commenting and making sure that they actually DM us. So it could be that direct message or that private message that they send us. Are we tracking online sales? How are we doing all this? So what can help you is Google Analytics. Part of web design is knowing exactly how people consume the information on your site. It's not important for us to guess. You know what they say about assumptions. So we cannot assume what our customers know. Now, when we invented or created whatever our product or service is, then we were our best customer, but we no longer are there. We've gone to the other side of that mountain, and now we have to help other people find us up that mountain. We need to understand what they need. So when we look at Google Analytics, this is a free tool with any free personal Gmail or Google account that connects to your website, and it lets you know how people are searching, what they like. Do they like the video? Do they read your blog post? Do they download information? Are they spending time on your site? Do they go off your site to actually get social credibility from your reviews or look at your socials like Facebook or Instagram, any of your Meta, TikTok? Do they go there, or do they go on down the line and go look at your competitors? And what competitors do they look at? Do you know that information? Because Google Analytics will track all of that for you. And this is so important because now we can make better business decisions because we are informed, not with just great factoids that are neat, N-E-A-T, neat to know, but with the data we need to know. How often should you update your sites? Well, that really depends on what your customer needs, what information they need. We are ever changing, so it's important to do that. It is all a part, Sean, of your prominence score. Understand Google ranks where you are in Google search on 3 pillars: relevance, distance, and prominence. Relevance is number one, and that's why we're spending so much time talking about analytics and SMART goals, because you understanding the language that your customers use is vital. I'm talking about it's critical to your business success. Because if you're not relevant, let's say that you're a pediatric dentist. So everywhere on your site, it says pediatric dentist. We provide pediatric dentistry, pediatric orthodontist. And the person that's searching is going out to AI or saying, hey, Google, hey, Alexa, find somebody who can straighten my 13-year-old's teeth. There's no relevance there. Google does not connect the dot between pediatric dentistry or orthodontics and I need to straighten my 13-year-old's teeth. Unless you put it on your website and all of your socials or your profiles, your Google business profile, your YouTube channel, you say, at our pediatric orthodontic office, we straighten teeth of children between the ages. If you say that, now you become relevant. You don't, you miss the mark. Relevance is the biggest pillar and the hardest one for us to connect with because we want to use our industry speak and what we know in our head as opposed to what our customers actually use. So that's why it's important for us to do that. Google Analytics can let you know exactly where there's at. Now I see some questions here. Let me go to the questions. Isn't this part of Google Maps also the analytics, or is it different? Totally different. So Google has several tools, Mr. Wood. It has tools from Google Analytics, Google Business Profile, Google Maps, YouTube, which is a product of Google. Then you have Google Search Console, Google Ads, Google Merchant Center. Okay, so and those are all free. Everything that helps you get visible, that is 100% free with a free Gmail or free personal Google account. Google Analytics is one of the tools to connect to your website. Are there any specific suggestions you have between a product or service or between a product or a service business? No, Patty, again, knowing your customers and knowing how they consume information is completely vital to you. And this is what helps Google Analytics. I got a phone call yesterday getting on voice search. Should I participate in the call? I don't know what that is, Marcy, so I can't tell you. I'll need a little bit more specifics. Let's save that to the end because that sounds like it's very specific driven. If you have visitors, I know it can make changes, but no visitors, something seriously wrong, and I'm at a loss what to do. No worries, CJ. Start with analytics anyway. Know who are the visitors who go there. Then you'll go to Google Search Console. We'll talk about that in a minute, okay? All right, I'll show you exactly what to look at to in analytics in just a moment. I'm going to just touch that though, just so that you know there is a deep dive. There's actually a workshop I do, a session just like this, which is make better business decisions with analytics, and we'll take the deep dive there. I'm just going to touch on it here, okay? All right, so this is how you can set up analytics for the first time. If you're signed into your Google account that you actually use to manage everything, your free Google account, free Gmail account, then if you go to g.co/analytics, it'll remember your credentials, bring that up, and it will log you into Google Analytics for the first time. At what point would you begin to pay for Google Ads to increase traffic to your website? Oh, Well, that really depends on your analytics, what your analytics say. Emily, I never ever recommend anything just as a cookie cutter on ads until I've looked at somebody's analytics, because it's really a fast way to lose a lot of money quickly. So I like to make sure that I make a really informed decision so that we can see exactly where those milestones are and how people need to find the information. Are you set up for that? So when you look at your analytics, these are the reports that you can see. For example, if you send an email out, you change something, Sean, let's say on your site, you update your site, you put a new video there, you can see in real time whether or not that did any lift. Are more people coming? Are they consuming the information? What are they doing? For your life cycle, you can find out where people came from. I like to look exactly where they came from because I have people tell me socials is really bringing me there, and they may see a lot of volume and popularity there, but nobody comes to their website. So I need to see exactly which one's performing. They may feel like people open up their email, so there's a click-through rate, and maybe they even come to their site, but then they don't do anything else. So I'm able to look at that information, you are as well, and find out exactly what's happening there. The good thing with analytics, it has AI behind it, so it's actually telling you and explaining to you what these metrics and numbers mean. You're not just lost at it. You can also see whether or not monetization is working. Are people coming through your site doing what they need to do? Do you know the demographics and who you're actually serving so you can better target your messaging? Okay. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Again, at the end, I'll do a demonstration on Google Analytics of how you can look at that, what to measure, and then Google Search Console. Your site, though, needs to be website friendly. So understand this is what it looks like on a laptop or a desktop when people are searching. And you'll see for free on the right that Google Business Profile there, giving you lots of great real estate and visibility. This is a great way to be seen 100% for free. Do not believe the myths that if you are home-based or if you're online-based only, that you can't have a Google Business Profile. You absolutely can, and it's a great way to control your actual visibility on Google Search and Maps. So keep that in mind, all right? So take a look at what it looks like. You'll see the text ad at the top. You'll always see that if you see actual photos up there. That's Google Shopping ads. Those are all paid positions because they're ads. And then you see underneath that organic search results that you can scroll up and continue to scroll, but you want to be in the first scroll, because when you're in the first scroll, people see you as an expert at what you do. So CTR means click-through rate. Exactly. That's click-through rate. Exactly. Is Google Analytics only for website, or you can use it for email as well? So it is for your website. So if you release an email, let's say Juanita, and it's driving people to your website, you can see whether or not that email is actually doing well for you. So I use Google Analytics. I had a business I was working with that had something featured on the Today Show, and I was able to watch the real-time analytics as the Today Show aired in the different time zones, and I got to see it move across the country. So you can do that, but you do have to have a website that it's connected to. And a website like Wix or Squarespace, it works fine. WordPress, WooCommerce, all of those work great because those are what are known as CMSs, content management systems. So they are actually websites, but it's pretty much, WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. You type it in and you can make it instantly show up and publish online or Google Sites. You can utilize Google Analytics there. So what's important in being search friendly is you have to make sure you have a fast load time. Let's slow down there for a minute. When I say a fast load time, people are not patient. Your site, if you're a brand, needs to load in 1.2 seconds on a mobile device. That's all you've got, 1.2 seconds, or you'll lose over half, 53% of your traffic. And for every second over, you'll lose another 10%. So you could be working your butt off on TikTok, dancing away, getting people to come to your site. And if it takes more than 1.2 seconds to load, they're leaving, over half of them, and then every second over. So it's important for us to know how quickly our site actually loads. If you're an e-commerce site, they give you a little bit of grace, just a little bit. You've got 1.8 seconds for it to load. So it's important for us to know our load time. We need to know whether or not our content is useful, because if it's not, Google won't show you up high either. It wants to give information to people who are searching and make it a good experience for them. Does Google Analytics report which SEO words are being successful? Yes, it does, Emily, as well as Google Search Console. Both of those are free, and we'll talk about both of those in just a moment, even deeper on that. But yes, they do. What's your favorite place to test load time? Oh, page speed insights, hands down. Why? Because it's a Google tool, right? And Google is still the #1 search engine in the world. Until it's not, That's where I'm going to focus all my efforts. So Google is the number one search engine in the world. And because of that, I use tools that are Google tools because I want to make sure Google sees me well. If I do well for Google, then I'm doing great for Bing, Apple search as well. I'm doing well there. And then also text links. It's important for us to connect and know what text links people are clicking on because this lets us know what they have a great interest in. All right, search-friendly websites have good titles and descriptions. These need to match the words that people are using. That's why I spent a lot of time talking about that. If you don't know the words people are using to find you, read your reviews because in their own words, they're telling you what matters most to them. Not what you think it should be, but what really does matter. If you don't have a website yet, if you don't have reviews yet, then read your competitors' reviews. Because again, in their own words, they're saying what is most important to them. They'll also give you some insight onto some sweet spots that you can see that maybe you have an opportunity where your competitor may miss. Now, if you've never done it, I would use export comments for free. Export your comments, the comments of your competitor, or even your comments. You can put that into ChatGPT. That's AI if you've not used it yet. I do a lot of advanced courses on AI, but then you can use that and find out the sentiment, find out exactly what positive things are happening, what negative, and really get a good sense of what matters most to people. And you can now start using those words in everything that you do, from your social posts to what you're actually putting on your site. And then it's important that you have good information architecture, which is how you design and lay out your site, where people need to find things, and know that it looks good on all browsers because we are all browser agnostic. We just go to anyone that searches fast for us. Some of us use Brave where you don't have ads showing up. They might use DuckDuckGo. They might use Bing. They might use Mozilla Firefox, or they could use Google Chrome. So you've heard me talk a couple of times or mention a couple of times about Google Search Console. What is this? So Google Analytics measures how people consume information on your site. It gives you better insight on your prospective customers and your customers, your returning customers. Google Search Console tells you how the search engine sees your site. Okay. Now, a lot of people don't understand that Google is not the World Wide Web. Google is the biggest library of the World Wide Web. And because it is a library, it is on you, the business owner or the marketer, to make sure that your site, your book, so if you think of your website as a book with lots of chapters and pages in it, it's on you to make sure that your site is in the library. Now, a lot of people use the strategy of hope. Publish something, put a blog post out, put a website, and then we post it and we hope that Googlebot's going to find it. Googlebot is amazing, but it can take up to 90 days to find a site. And most small businesses that I know, cash flow is king, and they can't wait 90 days for business to start or for them to even be seen and visible showing up in search results. So they need to be seen immediately. And you control that because when you enter and put your site up, enter it into the library here. Because if I'm going to the library, if you remember back in the day, I'm going to date myself, right? You go into the library, you look up the card catalog, or you go into your computer and you take a look, you find where it's at, and then you go out to the stacks and get it. That's exactly what's happening when search happens. Well, if your your book's not on the shelf in the library, it can't serve you up as a result. And it's important for you to do that. You can enter yourself in there 100% for free. Okay? Yes, try your site on PC and Mac. Absolutely. Different devices, tablets. What does it look like? So what is Google Search Console? That's what it is, the door to the library. And you'll see at the bottom left, that's the link to get to that door, g.co/search console. All right. When you're there, you can find out exactly what's Google seeing. You can find out what keywords people are searching you with. You can find out what sites actually link to your site, who's bringing the most traffic. All of this is available to you for free in Google Search Console. So how you get there first is you go to g.co/search console, and you do have to say that you're the business owner, and of course prove that either by domain or putting a code on your site. So you do have to prove that you're the actual website owner. Now, another thing that your website needs to do in order to make it work better for you and do that heavy lifting is to make sure that it is easy and convenient. So you want to make sure that it's responsive. It needs to show up on a tablet like it shows up on a desktop or a smart TV. If your site is not responsive, mobile responsive, or adjusting like that, so if you have to pinch and zoom or swipe side to side to read the information on your site, you are not responsive. And understand, there is nothing that I can tell you to do, or no amount of money that you can pay in search engine optimization, SEO, to get you to the beginning or top of Google search, because Google penalizes for not having a secure site and not having a responsive site. So if you don't fix those two things, you're never going to get to the top. You need to also make payment really simple. Provide recommendations is a great way for you to actually upsell, increase your average order value per customer. And then do you have convenience there? So some of the three things on the other side there are convenience. Do you provide that and available on your website? Are you giving people the information they need to fulfill the information needed to complete that decision journey? Okay? All right, so responsive design. This is what I mean. See how it looks on that tablet as well as now on the mobile that's really there in the middle of the page, but to the left of the tablet? Or is it really, something easy to read, or is it a hot mess like I told you about, that people don't like, that disorganization when people just throw things on their homepage? And are the fonts easy to read? So I was reviewing a website the other day. So I do what's known as a Google checkup, and I take a look and see whether or not everything's connected well, is it optimized well, and can they read your site? It was a beautiful site. But oh my gosh, the font was teeny tiny. I mean, even on a smart TV, it was teeny tiny. Understand, I utilize a Mac, I utilize many things when I look at a site, and it was too tiny. She had the font at 12-point font, which is great if you've got a document that you're reading, because you can increase that. But on a website, if you have to pinch and zoom, that's too much. Nothing less than a 26-point font, right, on a website, because people need to be able to see it, and it needs to be responsive and adjust depending on the device. So you also need to make payment processes simple, right? Remember what I told you about the guy who went from 300,000 in his garage to 8 million? And I had a chance to work with him that whole time on that climb. That was so exciting to see him actually apply what he learned. And what he did is he utilized all of these tools to make it easy. Why? Because they're shopping at 2:20 in the morning. Who at 2:20 in the morning wants to get out of bed, go into their bag, because it's women that he was mostly working with, or go into a wallet to go look for their credit card, right? Nobody does. He wanted to make it easy. So just utilize any of these things where you already have all that information connected and it's easy. You might already even have your login already understanding that you're on your device, or it's something that's easy that you've remembered. Okay. Then you can also recommend similar products or services. People don't know your product like you do, and you actually know the life cycle of your customer and what they may need that would help them really enjoy your product, or really take advantage of what you have that aligns with their interests. So if they purchase from you or getting ready to, if you can provide them other things, this shows that you really do understand your customer. And we like to talk to people who think we're valuable and get us, right? So you can also build that convenience into your website. You can let them know, hey, we have this brand locally, but you can't come in the store. We do a curbside pickup. We make it easy for you, or we deliver, or we'll help you. Just like some of the plumbers do with maintenance. They'll do that video on their website and show people how they can do some of the basic maintenance, so they're not always having to go to a plumber. What do you mean by recommendations? That's what I mean is by, let's say, so the gentleman I was working with that had the dog product. So he had a dog product. Well, there was poop bags and cleanup bags and a deodorizing dispenser and little pop-up sprinklers. There's all these things that he had available with his product. So he would recommend them. And in fact, on his website, it says, if you have a small dog, you might want a ramp for this. If you have this, so he very much knows his customers. If you have a dog that's young and pretty active in chewing, then you want to get on this subscription. So he made recommendations to them, Juanita, because he knows his product and he knows what his customers need at different stages of a dog's life. You need to be that comfortable in understanding and knowing your customer as well. Now, is your site mobile responsive? I want somebody to drop their website in the actual chat there, because we're going to go find out. All right, just drop your website there in the chat. And I'm going to bring up a live demo real quick. Okay, mathtothepoint.com. Thank you. Let's go. Math to the point. I'm going to bring up my screen in just a moment so you'll see what I'm doing. And I got to make it bigger because I'm broadcasting. All right, let's bring it up so you guys can see it. All right, so this is Math to the Point. Thank you for being right away serving and sending that up. Now, what you can do, understand I'm in Google Chrome. This is a Chrome browser. Chrome is a marketer's dream, and I'll show you why in just a moment. You're going to click right click. You're going to go to inspect. So you see the drop down menu. I can't make this any bigger. I know it's super tiny, but you'll see the very bottom item is inspect. So now it shows me what this site looks like on a mobile device. Now it's set for an iPhone 12 Pro, but I can look at all these different ones. Right? Don't pay attention to this gibberish here. We're really just looking right here at the graphics. So you see this site is not mobile responsive because I can't read everything on the screen. It didn't adjust this carousel that's happening right here. It's a lovely carousel and I'm so grateful that you shared it. But I want to let you know that you are going to have a struggle getting to the top of Google search because remember what I said about the 2 penalties that it's tough for any business to overcome? Is responsive, mobile responsive, Google will penalize heavily, as well as being secure. So when I say secure, I'm going to back out of this for a minute so you can see. So this is a secure site. Is it a secure site? Let's see. Yep, connection is secure. So Google's cool with that. But when I click inspect, it's not being responsive here. Okay, so let's see what it looks like if I go to a Samsung Galaxy. Still not mobile responsive. So I'm going to have to go to an iPad Pro. Now I get a little bit on an iPad Pro. But once we get smaller than that, and understand most of us are on mobile, this is really, really important. So I'm going to go back to an iPhone and see, now it adjusted here, but this is getting super small. So it did do an adjustment. Look how small that is to read, everybody. Okay, look at this. This is really some of the challenges that we have where people immediately see this and think, oh, I'm not going to do that. And I appreciate you sharing your site. I'm not trying to dog you with your site because your site is beautiful, but I want it to be seen. This beautiful site needs to be visible. And in order to do that, you have to be responsive, okay? All right, so you can use that for free in Google Chrome. You can also find out exactly how many people see you or how much the search engine sees you. All right, so somebody else, let me know your website address. Go ahead and drop that just right now. So your, let me see, your beacon.com, is that, okay, I think I see that, Karina, thank you. Okay, so I'm in a Google Chrome browser, right? You've got to be in Chrome because only Chrome does this. I'm going to put site at the top here, colon, and then, whoops, I lost it. Let's go back up there. Your beacon with a K, yourbeacon.com. Notice how I didn't put the HTTPS, I didn't put the www, the backslashes, I didn't put that. I just put yourdomainname.com. I'm going to hit enter. Oh, I still have it on mobile. Let's make it bigger. All right. So I put that in, and that's telling me Google doesn't see your site, because if it saw your site, there would be a whole list of pages underneath. Okay, Google does not see your site at all. You need to enter your site into the library. Okay, that's really important. All right, let's go back to the presentation. I wish I could do that for everybody, but I can't. I do in our membership, but I just can't here just because there's a lot of you. But I love when I do that because you can see so much, and I'm happy to do that for you. Just let me know. All right. So that is what you can do to see whether or not your site is mobile responsive. Remember what I said about your site being organized. So you need to understand how people consume information. So you see the basic website here, like for Trade Street Jam, you've got our team, shop, and contact. Now, the problem is that shop can become a hot mess. Remember, she might have jelly, she might have jams, she might have crackers that go with it. Maybe she even has gift cards. And if I have to go to one page, one site to see all that and sift through everything, that's quite a lot. So how can we actually fix this? We can actually put in different other pages, following again how people need to see the information to make their decision. So now we can put things like, I'm sorry, let me go back there, products, and we can split that out by jam, hot sauce, and gift cards, okay? So when we organize our site, and there's some questions here, how to enter your site into the library. You'll enter your site into the library by going to Google Search Console. I'm going to drop that. It is a link in the chat, okay? Excuse me. Yes, Christina, I'm recording it right now. You'll get it this afternoon, as well as the handout and the slides, but the handout and slides are available right now. Let me drop those in the chat again if you came in and missed that, but it'll be available later this afternoon and you'll have access to it for 10 days, okay? All right, So when you organize your site, sorry, I did not talk about that. See how you put everything at the very top before you scroll? If you remember back in the day of newspapers, anything that was called top of fold is the most important thing. So when a newspaper's folded on a desktop or a table, then everything at the very top is right there and important, the most important information. That's what you need to do with your site, okay? Put all the most important information there. The biggest mistake people make on their website is they'll put their social credentials up there, their social icons, Facebook, TikTok, everything. They'll put it at the top because a lot of times these content management systems that people make their websites with automatically put it up there. That's a mistake because you work so hard to get them on your site. You don't want to lose them by going to social. You don't want them to leave you. Now, I'm not saying don't put your social icons in there. Put them in the footer. Get them to read your stuff and get down there if they need social credibility. But you've got them on your site. Don't do anything to take them away and distract them. You want them to look at the information. So as you organize your site, it's important for you to know what's relevant to what people are looking for. That's why I spent so much time at the very beginning saying you need SMART goals and you need to understand who your best customer is, because you cannot lay out the perfect roadmap to get them to come and actually go to a path to purchase from you if you don't know how they act. Now, part of that is knowing what they're looking for. If you've not used Google Trends, everybody, this is another free tool that I love. Okay, so let me go out here and show you this one in action. If you've not used it, it is 100% free, and it's letting you know what people are searching for in Google right now in real time. All right, so let's go out there. And somebody let me know your industry. Just drop one industry in the chat. I'll go with the first one that comes up. Okay, art. All right. For this past day, people are talking about, oh no, I can't spell. That's always the challenge there. Let's try art again. All right. In the past day in the United States, people are searching for art all over the US, but most specifically in these 5 states, they're super active. What are they talking about? Art is a topic, yes, but they're talking about Art Deco, Art Linkletter, Art Laffer. So that's a lot of different arts, right? So what kind of art? Let me know what kind of art you're talking about. Okay. I see somebody here that says jewelry, so I'm just going to go with jewelry. Artisanal. Maybe I can't spell. No. Artisanal. Hey, there we go. Jewelry. No, I can't spell artisanal. How do we spell that? Artisanal jewelry. Not in the past day, but let's go out to the past 30 days. Have I spelled it wrong, or have I messed up totally, everybody? So yeah, for some reason I must have spelled it wrong. Let's go to just jewelry then. That's always the challenge. All right, so I can look in the past 4 hours who's talking about jewelry, and I can see which states are. All right, let's say I'm targeting Hawaii. What's Hawaii talking about? Well, in the past 4 hours, not enough information, but we know they're talking about it, so let's go to the past day. All right, so in the past day, it's really Honolulu talking about it, but let's go out a little bit further in the past 7 days. Honolulu is talking about Mother's Day jewelry. So, okay, if I'm focused on jewelry, I need to remember that Mother's Day, if you have cremation jewelry or if you have a keychain, these are breakout topics. What this means is when I say breakout, that means, or when Google says breakout, that means that it is just now on the rise. If you ever wanted to be at the beginning of the trend, you really wished, oh, I wish I could be at the beginning of the trend because I would have gotten all the eyeballs then. You are. At breakout, this is the beginning of the trend. If you're doing Google Ads, this is also when I like to buy ads, because Google Auction, which is what determines the actual price of ads, has not figured out that this is a popular topic yet. So I can be at the very top, at the very beginning, right there in front, at the top of a trend, and not pay a lot of money to be there because it is a breakout term. So this is something that you can do with your business. You can even search. If I wanted to say, let's say I'm going to look at jewelry past 30 days, and I wanted to look in Texas, and I specifically wanted to look at what San Angelo, Texas was doing as far as jewelry, I could look at that and see exactly what people are searching for in San Angelo. And I could use those words in my actual messaging in all of my social posts, everything that I'm doing to showcase exactly what I need to see and be visible. I call that the philosophy of fish where the fish are. It takes a tremendous amount of time, energy, and money to get people to look over here when they're spending time over here. So if you can align yourself and be where their eyeballs already are, now you have a chance to get some of those eyeballs looking at you. All right? Now, also on your website, when people can't find things, that's what's known as a 404 page. You want to, yes, the updates are in real time, Maverick. So we want to update the 404 pages to have helpful information. So if somebody is looking for, let's say you have pediatric dentistry, right? And they're looking for 13-year-old, so they look for orthodontics maybe, or maybe they look for braces on your site. If they can't find that specifically because you work with Invisalign, but they're looking for braces, then if they go to a braces page that's a 404 page, it could say, oops, maybe you're looking for Invisalign because that's what we use. Here's some more information about our Invisalign line that we have available to you. So make your 404s work for you instead of just being a page that says, oops, you're lost, too bad. Now you can give them some helpful information, okay? A website also needs to be trustworthy, all right? Remember what I said about secure payments and security, and that having everything to do with whether or not you show up high in search. People need to be able to see reviews and know that you are solid. Those third-party validations mean much more than us beating our chest saying that we're amazing. Knowing what our ratings are. This is important to know because to be competitive nationwide for a brand, you need 65-star reviews, and for an e-commerce site, you need 125-star reviews. And you have your contact information there so they know that you're not just some foreign entity or some company fishing for information, so a spammy company. Do they know that you're credible, that you're real? Okay? Deep breaths, everybody. We did a lot just now. Overall, this is what your site needs to have. How can you get there? I gave you a lot of knowledge today, but applying knowledge is what makes you powerful. Knowledge itself is not powerful. That is a myth. You need to apply what you've learned. These are the people that can help you apply. So let me look at some of the questions here before we finish up. Would you recommend sites like Ahrefs or SEMrush? Oh yeah, I use those all the time, but Google Trends is free. So I definitely am a bootstrap marketer, Juanita, and I work with a lot of businesses who may I can't use Ahrefs or SEMrush's monthly charge. I can't afford that. Where can I look for this? So there are many free places to look for keywords within your Google tools, like even Google Ads without you using ads at all or putting any payment information. You can use the keyword planner in there and it works really, really well. So I like to help make sure that people are profitable as quickly as possible. Okay. So yes, what do we need those many 5-star reviews for? To be credible and trustworthy, because people want to do business with an actual business that shows that it knows what it's doing. And we look and read reviews. So that's exactly what's happening. All right, everybody.